Everybody knows that I am the champ. All the ladies out there, they know.
Let's tell it like it is.
I'm going from the darkness to the light. You want to send me to jail? Fine, you go right ahead.
Muhammad Ali became an American legend both for what he achieved and for what he refused to do.
I've been in jail for 400 years. I could be there for 4 or 5 more. But I ain't going no 10,000 miles to help murder and kill other poor people. If I want to die, I'll die right here, right now, fighting you. If I want to die, you my enemy. Not no Chinese, no Viet Cong, no Japanese. You my opposer when I want freedom. You my opposer when I want justice.
The movie follows Ali during a crucial decade of his life between 1964 and 1974. He lost his 3 prime years in the ring after refusing to be drafted. Unlike what many people think, the Nation of Islam didn't order his actions. In fact, they opposed them, and the government offered him a deal where he'd entertain and never have to fight. But Ali made his decision from his heart. I'm sure not an expert on Muhammad Ali, but I did spend a whole day with him once, followed him around, and took him to a showing of Rocky where he reviewed the boxing for me. And the Ali that I saw on that day is the Ali that Will Smith captures on this film. He gets that balance between the withdrawn, thoughtful quality and then the kind of showboat who likes to be recognized and likes to kid with people. The performances are not the problem with this movie. The problem with this movie is it's way too long and shapeless, and there were scenes that don't seem to have any purpose. There are whole passages that don't pay off. There's dialogue that goes nowhere. There are characters that are never explained. Frankly, this seemed more like a rough cut to me than a finished product, and at almost 3 hours, it's almost an hour too long. I was sort of surprised, but Ali is a mess. I give it 2 stars, and I'm Roger Ebert, ABC 7 News.
Dead and counting. That's not a war, Mr. Ito. It's genocide.
These people, they have no food. We can either help, or we can sit back and watch a country destroy itself on CNN.
Blackhawk Down tells the true story of a catastrophic U.S. military operation in Somalia. It happened in 1993 and was part of a humanitarian mission to a country ravaged by starvation and civil unrest. U.S. troops include some young men who've never been in combat or on foreign soil before.
You ever shot at anybody before?
No, Sergeant.
Me neither.
More hard-bitten officers have seen what lies ahead.
Now, there will be some shooting. Makara Market is the Wild West. But be careful what you shoot at, because people do live there.
The plan was to capture 2 key lieutenants of a Somalian warlord and help clear the way for relief efforts. What was supposed to be a rapid sweep turned into the Battle of Mogadishu.
They're shooting at us! Colonel, they're shooting at us! We'll shoot back!
The warlord soldiers took up arms and 2 Blackhawk helicopters were down. Trapped U.S. soldiers had their humanity and survival instincts put to the ultimate test. At home, the country became wary of risking American lives on foreign soil. The film shows the stark realities of each step of the ill-fated raid. The ensemble cast portrays not courage or heroics so much as the strife of the moment.
Nobody asks to be a hero. It just sometimes turns out that way.
Director Ridley Scott is a powerful Hollywood figure whose titles include movies like Blade Runner, Hannibal, and Gladiator. But I think Blackhawk Down is actually his best film. It's not a gung-ho war movie like Behind Enemy Lines, where people are running around shooting each other and we're supposed to be in the audience whooping and hollering. Instead, it's an incisive film about this military operation, of what went wrong and exactly how it went wrong. And he does a masterful job of showing where the troops are, what position they're in, what they can do, and what they can't do. It's really absorbing. I give Blackhawk Down 4 stars. I think it's one of the year's best movies. And I'm Roger Ebert, ABC 7 News.
I'm Spider-Man.
Okay, I know Spider-Man is making millions even as I speak. And if you like movies about superheroes who jump over towering skyscrapers, you've probably seen it already or you're planning to. But if you can't make up your mind, here's what I think. If you're not familiar with the legendary Marvel Comics crime fighter, it tells how an orphan social outcast turns into a crime-fighting champion. Shy, retiring Peter Parker is played by Tobey Maguire. He's bitten by a radioactive spider and suddenly has muscles and a lack of any human frailty. Not only that, but he can spin powerful webs and execute amazing jumps.
For me, the choice to live an ordinary life is no longer an option.
Maguire is perfect as the nerd. I really liked him as Peter Parker, but I think he takes the transformation into Spider-Man too lightly. He instantly assumes the mantle of superhero with too much ease, I think, and too little fear or astonishment.
Cheese!
The damsel in distress is Kirsten Dunst. She sort of falls in love with Spider-Man, but only has a fond regard for Peter, who has a terrible crush on her. This role could do for Dunst what Star Wars did for Carrie Fisher.
Wow, great reflexes.
The character I find most fascinating is a tycoon villain played by Willem Dafoe. His Jekyll and Hyde interaction with Maguire really works. First he's a nice guy, then he's the Green Goblin.
Come on, move, kid!
Industry rumors say this movie cost about $130 million to make, but to me, the action sequences don't live up to the billing. When Spider-Man is leaping from building to building, it looks more like a cartoon. The animation isn't as convincing as the live-action sequences. I'm only giving Spider-Man 2.5 stars. I like the live-action stuff. I thought the Peter Parker material was good, but I thought the special effects and the action sequences left something to be desired. Still, I know the movie's going to gross millions over the next couple of weeks, and then it's time for Attack of the Clones. Star Wars is going to hit theaters with a bang and dominate the early part of the summer, a summer that's going to have lots of action movies. We're going to get Ben Affleck as Jack Ryan. We'll have Tom Cruise in a thriller. We'll have Spy Kids back, Austin Powers back, Men in Black back. It's going to be a big summer at the movies, and I'm Roger Ebert for ABC 7.
Let me start by saying I think director Ron Howard has made a superior thriller out of Dan Brown's bestseller, The DaVinci Code. The movie not only follows the novel religiously, but I think it's far more absorbing and enjoyable.
Demons, omens, codes, monks. Da Vinci.
The story begins with a symbologist enlisted by police to help with a shocking murder that will raise terrifying questions. Tom Hanks is Robert Langdon, the professor who could meet the same deadly fate if he can't decipher the curator's final, desperate message.
Dear God.
The victim was shot in the Louvre. He managed to scrawl a code of clues in his own blood. The corpse was found in a pose within a design by Da Vinci.
You're saying all this is real?
Real enough to kill for.
Audrey Tautou is Sophie, the curator's granddaughter. She's also a police investigator who teams up with Langdon to follow the trail of mystical symbols. If that's not enough, could she also be a link to Mary Magdalene?
This is a symbol for Venus. It represents the female half of all things.
You are telling me that Sonia's last act on Earth was to draw a goddess symbol on his chest? Why?
Ian McKellen is Sir Teabing, an old friend who Langdon is sure can help in his quest. He knows there are secrets in the church with implications for all mankind.
Witness the biggest cover-up in human history.
Paul Bettany is Silas, a ghostly albino monk prone to self-flagellation. He'll go to any lengths to protect the secret. Langdon's journey takes him across breathtaking landscapes in England and France. Given the longevity and lore of the Catholic Church, I think all the controversy over the mysteries of Christ's past and the Holy Grail are understandable, even if unwarranted.
The silence will be broken. You must explode the truth.
The performances by Tom Hanks and the rest of the cast hit just the right notes, and they don't overplay their parts. There's enough high drama here with just the plot. I was thoroughly entertained and engrossed by the movie, although I did up wondering why such a crucial mystery to humanity turns into a scavenger hunt. I give the DaVinci Code 3 stars, and I'm Roger Ebert, ABC 7 News.
What exactly do you want?
I wanted it from the first moment I saw you, and you did too.
Basic Instinct 2 is bad, and it's unbelievable, but I can't say that it's unbelievably bad because at times it's so ridiculous that I couldn't help but be intrigued in a fascinating kind of disbelieving way.
You know what I like about you? You enjoy being in control. Like me.
I'm not the one who's on trial for murder.
Not yet.
Novelist Catherine Trammell is now in London, where she took a famous sports star for a joyride straight into a river. And now Scotland Yard wants to know why he drowned and she didn't.
So is this where we're gonna do it?
David Morrissey plays Dr. Michael Glass, brought in to determine Catherine's mental health.
I believe Miss Trammell's behavior is driven by what we might call a risk addiction. I suspect the only limit for her would be her own death.
Charlotte Rampling plays a shrink who warns her colleague this patient is too hot to handle.
She could be a murderer twice over, and you're acting like she's a princess you have to rescue.
Sharon Stone delivers the goods with her performance. You gotta love a character who finds her many sexual escapades completely forgettable. That is, unless the guy died in the process.
So what you write about?
Oh, the sexual, the violent, the basic instincts.
What's your new book about?
A detective. He falls for the wrong woman.
What happens?
She kills him.
When I reviewed the original Basic Instinct back in 1992, I complained about the plot and said that it left me feeling depressed and manipulated. I didn't care much about the plot either way this time. Even if I don't recommend the movie, parts of the sequel are like a guilty pleasure, and Stone can be mesmerizing as a sexual predator.
How do you picture it, Doctor? What you said about me being addicted to risk, isn't that what turns you on?
Basic Instinct 2 is trashy and outrageous, and you won't be bored. I'm giving it 1.5 stars, but my rating may be kind of like a cold shower to make sure I don't give it 4 stars. Catherine Trammell's victims would probably understand that logic. I'm Roger Ebert, ABC 7 News.
You're on it now, yeah.
In Click, Adam Sandler plays Michael, a hard-working architect. He's a family man who doesn't get home as often as he'd like because of his big job. Michael's fate is forever changed when he meets a strange clerk, Christopher Walken, who gives him a magical universal remote control for his TV. But the device ends up changing far more than the channels.
I'm looking for a universal remote control.
I'm about to rock your world. You wanted a universal remote. That remote controls your universe.
Kate Beckinsale plays Michael's wife. They get into an argument that demonstrates the power of the mysterious clicker.
Give me a break. I'm so tired of having this argument.
I skipped the whole fight.
I heard a song playing on the radio this morning.
We have a song?
The song that was playing during our first kiss.
What the hell is our song? Oh my God. Get it? That's my boy. Linger was playing during our first juicy kiss. You look beautiful in that pink sweater.
Honey, you remember what I was wearing?
I love you.
David Hasselhoff is the tyrannical boss who controls Michael's existence.
For me to do those documents, it's gonna take me months.
And you better get started.
Wow, I got a big headache. You do?
Michael eventually gets overwhelmed by his new toy and his ability to hold sway over all the experiences he will or will not have in life.
The remote.
Making of?
Click it.
Is that my parents?
They're making you.
Get me out of here! This thing's broken. Keeps fast forwarding on its own. What else did I miss?
Some of this movie is funny, but in the end, it's the story of a man who becomes selfish and manipulative with his newly discovered power. He takes a long time to learn that real life is more than just switching channels to get what you want. Adam Sandler has been good in movies like Spanglish and Punch Drunk Love, but this one just didn't click for me. I give it only 2 stars. I'm Roger Ebert, ABC 7 News.
You look a little pale there, pal. Let me fix that. Don't get the Hulk angry. You won't like him when he's angry.